Hi, I'm Casey Henry, and welcome to Behind the Break. The tune I'm going to be talking about today is a hymn called In Christ Alone. So this is a really slow hymn with a very simple melody. It's got 4 phrases. The first, second, and fourth phrases are the same, leaving only the third phrase that's different than the rest of them. So this melody is very plain, and it's in a very slow, like 3/4 time timing. And I couldn't even figure out a single roll that would match this sort of timing. So I just defaulted to playing the melody in an extremely straightforward fashion, only adding a few like pinches to fill in the chord sounds a little bit along with it. So when you're arranging something in such a simple fashion, the decisions that you have to make are just kind of nitpicky little stuff. Like, so for instance, the first lick here is in Christ alone. So we've got this open third string. Well, let me play you the first half of the phrase. So it goes like this. So that's what I ended up with. Now I've got 2 places where we could add kind of like ornamentation pinch-wise. At the end of this first phrase, that open third string, the second time you pick the open third. So you could pinch it with the first string. You could pinch it with all 3 strings, but the first one I decided to leave plain, so that when the second one rolled around, I could put a pinch there. Now the chord changes to D right here on this note. The open first works to pinch, but I didn't want to put a 3-note pinch. Like, I didn't want to put in a D7, and if I had wanted to get all 3 notes for the D chord, I would have had to make a full chord, and that's hard for students to do. So I just went with a 2-finger, more stark sounding 2-finger pinch right there. And then when we get to the end of that line, let's see. Right there, I put a 3-finger pinch, all 3 notes of the chord, kind of rounds it off and gives you a good sense of finality at the end of the phrase. So throughout the song, I just made small decisions like that. The only other place where I really had a choice of notes was in the third phrase, when there's the lick that goes like this. So here we're walking down the first string, and you always have a choice of where to get that high G note. You can do it fretted on the 5th fret of the first or open. And I chose this one. It's nice and linear, just walking down the first string. But you could also make it a 5th string, which would change it to this. You get a more ringy sound that lasts longer over top of the other notes if you use the 5th string. And that would have been a perfectly fine choice too. It was, they're about equal in this case as far as ease of playing and, how they sound in the arrangement. So I went with the fretted one. I could just have easily have chosen the open 5th string, and that would have been fine too. So that's just a little bit of insight into what I was thinking as I was doing this arrangement, and maybe it will be of some use to you in coming up with your own arrangements. Thanks for listening.